Thank you for joining us for an episode on Inspired by Miss Amber Red. And I am here today with a very special guest. I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell us why she's such a badass.
Oh, how much time do we have? Okay. What up, guys? My name is Kara Gutierrez, and I am a badass, period. But I am a traditional tattooer who also got into permanent makeup. I am currently here in Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri. So I own a tattoo shop. I've been in the industry for over a decade, and I'd like to say I'm like deep in the permanent makeup and body art world. So the best thing I could say is I could represent both sides, and I could see both sides of tattoo world in that way. And I got a little different twist of what I do and how I approach it because of my significant other and his expertise in medicine, because he's a medical doctor. So I spend a lot of time on why and let's prove it respectfully. And a lot of things in the permanent makeup world, I've been able to use my boyfriend on helping out the why, especially because I teach. And I'm a teacher.
Literally, that was probably one of the best things that I've been a part of, was coming to your areola training. And then he did a whole half day, I think it was a morning, that he did that like medical and like, went over the pre-screen form and like the whys behind everything. Because, for the most part, like I had a good mentor, so I know a lot of the stuff from behind the scenes and the whys of things. But on the flip side of that was like, oh, okay, this is like really, like, it makes sense. Like, so that was very beneficial.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I always like to say, can anyone stump him? And I'm like, please stump him and ask questions that make him think.
Yeah, absolutely. What's funny, this is kind of off topic a little bit, but I have Brisa here with me because she's always asking me like, Amber, what's it like to like use a mag? Because I used to use mags on lips for like the first 4 years, and then I just switched to round shaders. And then a video popped up today on Instagram of yours, and you were using a big old mag on a lip, and I was like, send it over to Brisa. I'm like, Brisa. I'm like, she's doing it. I was like, that's exactly how you use a mag on a lip. So that was really fun.
Yeah. I love it. I was like, why are you using a mag? Like, I don't know, 10 years ago or so. And I'm like, why else? Why wouldn't you use a mag? And I was like, am I stupid? Am I an idiot? I just know how to use the different tools. So
yeah, no, exactly. And cut your time like in half. Well, at least in half, I would say. But yeah, so
what 15 minutes to do lips. So
literally, yeah. The other day I did a full face, and I'm like, I think I just take longer. Like, I think in my head, I take longer than what I actually do. I like time myself. The last 2 full faces, so brows, eyeliner, and lips, the last 2 times, I'm at like 4.5 hours. I'm like, for brows, eyeliner, and lips, I'm like, dang, I am making some moves. I'm like, finally, I know what I'm doing.
Good for you. Yes, good.
Years old. Reese is like, it's taking me 2 hours to do a lip, and it's like, I'm like, yeah, it's normal, and you'll get there.
You'll get there, dude. You'll get there.
And it's not really about the time. Like, I get excited about stuff like that because, like, I'll look at the schedule and I'm like, the schedule says, because I'm not too good on that admin stuff. So I'm like, the schedule says I'm supposed to be working till 6, but really it's like 2:30, and I'm like, fuck yeah, like I'm done early day.
Yeah, totally. I appreciate that.
So what do you want to chat about today?
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I'm so excited. How many episodes can we stretch this out to? Because I kind of feel like, have you ever heard the saying, when you're dating someone, you've got to mend the heart that you didn't break?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I dove into traditional body art first, and then I dove into permanent makeup, and I have the respect for both sides. I dove into both, and they have their strong points. And I'm like, wait, but then this, I'm over here trying to do that. So let's talk about culture. I really wanted to talk about the culture in body art versus the culture in permanent makeup. And we need to just quit the bitching and respect each culture, and maybe add a little bit of this culture into that, and add a little bit of this culture into that. So maybe to debunk some stuff too. I don't know. Like I said, I'm very much into both worlds, where, how can I say this? I have respectfully some of the most badass people, super famous, awesome people on camera and behind the scenes people that are some of my dearest folks, like, you, Amber, Taryn, and, Mary Richardson. There's other, big wigs in the industry. I'm just kind of, and then I've got in the body art world where we're doing a lot with some big, like Ever After. I'm sponsored by them. My best friend, Liz Cook. And then we've got some really awesome connections with Sean Brown, the APT, not Sean, well, Sean Brown, with Eternal Ink, Ben Shaw, you know, with just the APT. And it's just like, I've got the highest of the flipping high people. And I respect them and know them, on a personal-ish level to where I'm like, bro, like, we all are saying the same thing, but different, and we need to come together.
I was just going to say, my question, I guess, for you then is where do you think that division started? Like, why is there a division between both worlds? And be honest. Because it's the same thing. It's a tattoo, right? So that baseline, it's a tattoo. Well,
I will
kind of.
say the first thing, it is a tattoo, and it is permanent for sure. Girl, I was here waiting. I made some notes right here. Because you know me, I'm gonna keep going. How long do we have? So I just want to say the first thing is the history, like the rich history and culture that tattoo body art world has, and then the permanent makeup has. It starts off with the purpose and functionality of it. The purpose of body art is so long, and the reason, and then the purpose of permanent makeup and the reason could still be long. And having that, understanding first, we are not in the same world in that way. Respectfully, again, respectfully. And yeah, there's a lot of, fuck you in tattoo world and a lot of per my last email in permanent makeup. And one is not better than the other. I mean, like I said, just social perception and stuff like that too. It's just we have to have respect because we have to have the same things like safety, sanitation, proper communication with the clients and all that stuff too. So it started from day one, really. Day one, it's just totally different. What do you think?
I'm like, I feel like I struggle a little bit. And this is, I mean, I don't have the body art background, so I struggle a little bit with. So this is like me. Okay, so take me out of like even doing permanent makeup, but just as somebody is like looking in, I feel like I struggle with like, I see on the learning boards all the time, and I'm like sure you see it too, but it's like, how would you respond to this person? There's like a lot of this like hand holding, like candy coating, like this
Yeah.
crap that I'm like in body tattooing, like they're not gonna be like, oh, come here, like we'll finish it next session, like I'm sorry it hurts, like no, it's still like, I'm like that's like one of my biggest frustrations. Like I'm trying to remove myself from like just as an outsider like looking in, but I'm like I see constantly that's like, oh, I didn't get this because it hurt too much and I'm gonna get it on touch up, and oh well she felt a little pain or this that. And I'm like, okay, but like it's like you're gonna feel something, so I don't know like where that came from, I guess. I'm like, I really struggle with that because I train a lot of people too, and it's like they come in and they're like, I just didn't finish the procedure because such and such and such, and I'm like, okay, but second session at touch up, she's still gonna feel something. It's gonna be the same exact situation. She's still gonna bleed. Like, so you stopped? Like, I'm confused. Like, so
It
anyways, there's
all
my rant.
boils down to the training with, a traditional tattoo apprenticeship. There is really, I taught how to do a permanent makeup tattoo apprenticeship, and and I was trying to teach them how to do it and what I went through, ups and downs, and it just seems like that hard work is too much because it's so much pulled back. Because I was like, hey, everybody stop, basically. Learn yourself, then get this. And it didn't really go off until I kind of like linked up with my friend Liz Cook, and we're working on sort of a deal where we're training and getting more education out there properly. And it's going to be a lot of stop training, stop doing what you're doing, rewind, and a lot of people are going to get offended. So that's going to be a challenge. And it starts with that day one, the way that it's handled, um, and learning what to do and what not to do, because it's such a steadfast industry and a money making deal. PMU. So the culture is different. And if we really want to be equal as more of respect equally, it you got to have to see where they're coming from, both sides.
Right.
And it's so different now because you got your house tattooers, you got your jail house tattooers. You have people that have crossbred everything. Man, this industry's so young. It's old. It's centuries and centuries old. But now we've got business, we've got money, we've got taxes. FDA's getting in this shit. APT's helping with that a lot, and they're kind of getting into it. And SPCP, I had dinner a couple weeks ago with Ben Shaw, and we were sitting next to him. Me and Arian were talking. Y'all don't know, FDA is trying to get in our shit. They're trying to get into the tattoo industry, saying that our tattoo machines are actually medical devices and we inject ink. So there's so much. We're so young, but yet we're holding on to something that's like gatekeeping. Now, just let it go. Come with the times. Let's get some education. A lot of pullback, and let's change the culture in the tattooing with our electric crayons right now. Just start now, man. And some of y'all are just gonna have to bite the bullet and pull back a lot.
I
Have
kind of
some
feel like
maturity.
I kind of feel like people need to be offended a little bit.
Oh yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
everything's so
I'm here
candy
for
coated
it.
in this world. So I'm like, I think there needs to be more bluntness, more rawness, like more like in your face, like, respectfully. But I'm like, I just feel like
Respectfully,
everything's
per
so
my last email.
yeah, literally. Yeah. Per my last email.
You know what I'm talking about. You don't know about.
Girl. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why am I thinking
But
of it?
really, like, the social perception, that's a first place to start off with the culture, not just behind the scenes. I feel a lot of people are going to watch this who are already tattooers, especially if they're following me. There are going to be a lot of traditional tattooers on my page. I have a lot of clients, so do you. So speaking to the other humans who aren't deep in the industry like us, PMU is more acceptable. It's more socially, okay, so to speak. And it's better now with body art, but with permanent makeup, because it's more socially acceptable, more people are actually being okay with it.
Are you
You know,
getting, do you still, because I still have a handful of clients, like, older ladies in particular that come in and they're like, oh, like, I didn't tell Susie, like, I just wanted, I just woke up like this type of look. Like, are you still getting that? Or have you felt, because I still get that, but I'm like, do you feel, and it's weird because actually being in Las Vegas, you would think it'd be less, but I do still get those clients like, I didn't want to tell so-and-so. I didn't, my husband doesn't know. Like, he thinks I'm at the dentist. Like, I get that like on the regular basis. So I'm like, I do think obviously it is more acceptable than like having body tattoos and like whatever, but like especially with the older clientele. But it's funny to me that they're still going to those extremes to being like, oh no, like my brows aren't tattooed, like I just like, okay, like do you
it all
find that on
goes
your
down to
end?
the function. It's the purpose and the function of it's just the purpose of permanent makeup. A lot of people approach it more like HIPAA, which is like, hey, hush hush, I want to be discreet. I'm very well known, to I guess, for discreet, soft, natural healed results. I post a shit ton of healed results, not before and afters. All y'all PMUers, start posting healed results. Same thing with body art, SMP, restoration tattoos, ink into skin. You hear me? Start posting healed results. Can we make that a culture
Thing.
norm across the board? And then showing, like you, Amber, here's a reality of an eyeliner bruise.
You know how
Thank
much
you.
shit I get for that constantly? I'm like, I think I posted something yesterday. I'm like on the story. I was like, okay, like if somebody tells you that bruising is not normal and like you did something wrong, I'm like, okay, everybody's
Yeah.
skin reacts differently, and they're lying to you. Like I literally said, I'm like, they're lying.
Yeah, stop with the damn editing. Like, if you edit the hell out of your stuff, especially if you're a teacher, that means you suck and you need to stop, because you need to show your real stuff. And nowadays, this world needs, we're really hardcore on like, give me the truth, give me the truth. We already know there's a lot of, made up stories. So like, it's so easy to, edit. So yeah, there is editing in traditional body art in that culture as well. Better, more vivid cameras. So in that way, just be more real. But it is, I don't know, like the stigmas. That's what I was going to. Sorry, we're kind of at all.
I was gonna say, so some of that does cross over. So like as far as like we see, recently I saw an eyebrow online that was like it was edited to such perfection that even I was like, is that? It was weird because I was like, is that edited? That has to be edited. I'm like, that's of course edited. And then I was like, wait a second. And then so I'm in the comments. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's edited, but they did such a good job editing it. I was like, oh my god, like people are really like thinking that this is how this is gonna look when they leave. Like it was the most beautiful eyebrow I've ever seen. But of course, at that point, it was like a work of art. So I was like, holy shit. I'm like, am I not doing something right?
Yeah, no, I think that's where it comes down to your followers on your specific platforms. They need to be educated, and other people just need to be louder and start talking about that. All of these people that have followers that are, you know, a bunch of followers, it is so simple. Start talking about the photos being edited. Simple. Start saying post healed results. These are healed results. And eventually you're going to get healed results that have been edited. And that's just a part of the cycle of advertising, because money, we make a lot of money in this in the tattoo across the board industry. And it's all about sales, man.
It's actually not a bad idea. I don't think I've ever done that before. I kind of want to take like well, I really have never edited a photo, but I'm too lazy. I'm like, last thing I want to do is sit down and edit a photo. Barely want to put together a collage, but it's actually not a bad idea is to take a brow, find that beautiful brow photo that I was talking about, and not to bash anybody, but like, hey, here is an edited photo. This is literally just off my camera phone, and like put them side by side. That's actually a really good idea. I've never done that before. So thank you.
I love the approach, not to bash anybody. We need to be a little bit more unapologetic, because you know what? We're not bashing anyone. And the point of this is the culture at whole, and what we're doing, and what we're needing to leave it better than we found it. And a lot of rich culture history is respect in the traditional body art world. Even if if you've been in 20, 30, 40 years, even that we should respect them, and we have to respect them, the ones that paved the way. And we should leave it better and not just shit on them because they're not as good as us. Well, without them, we wouldn't know what some bad is. So we've just got to show that respect no matter what. And a lot of permanent makeup artists that are, 5 to 10 years they've been in, and I would say a good 5 to 7 years, they're still like, okay, I'm the shit. And the way that I'm the shit is like I've experienced with people in the traditional body art world that's been in for 20, 30 years. That sort of error that I'm seeing out of permanent makeup artists who are just 5 to 10 years. You 5 to 10 years, you just really getting started. You're really feeling confident, and then what's worth talking about and how to communicate to your clients, which in return makes you more confident because you could do those healed results. My healed results are why I'm more confident every day.
I feel like 10 years in, I finally like I always say to the girls, it's like they'll be having us, you do apprenticeships as well. So I'm like, I feel like I see with them, it's like, this isn't working. This isn't working. This isn't working. I'm like, yeah, but you don't have the puzzle pieces yet. Like, it's like you hit a certain, like, I feel like, okay, 10 years in is great, but it's like, now I finally feel like, okay, this piece over here and this piece over here, I can grab them and connect them together to come up with a solution to a problem. Whereas if I'm 3 years in, I can't, may have the pieces, but I haven't been able to like connect those dots yet. So it's like, it's like magic.
You know what I say? I say it's like cooking in someone else's kitchen. If I was a traveling chef and I traveled all over the world, and I just got into someone's kitchen. I have all these memories of that pot, that pan, that's a spice. Because you go into my house, you're gonna see it says garlic powder, but we put some cayenne pepper in there and we just reuse it. I'm from, Louisiana. We use stuff like that. So you have to have all of the moving parts and awareness of what you're doing, and you're just not, they're not there yet. And Amber, you and a lot of other girls who've been in the industry, um, that's not 20 plus years, we'll say, have done it right to where your learning cup is never full. You don't have this snobby attitude, and you're willing to be right or be wrong. And the way you approach it is all, it's just about the damn approach, dude. Just
Right. No,
respect
I agree.
all around. We're millennials, bro.
I
You
noticed
can
with
do
you
that.
when I was there, are you still doing apprenticeships?
I
Like you're
have
taking the
two
apprentices? You
apprentices.
got okay.
Mine
So
are 4 years long. I have
uh,
4 years for apprenticeship.
that's how ours is too. So Brisa's, I think she's like 3 years. Are you 3 years in now? Almost 3 years in. But there's a big difference. Like I know that I candy coat, like my approach is candy, like I'm getting better. I'm recognizing that I'm candy coating shit more, but your approach was way different when I was there. Like she's no fucking joke, Brisa.
No, I remember when you told me.
When I came back, I'm
What,
like, okay,
what did I do? What did I do?
I don't remember what you did, but I'm like, you just like straight to the point. And I'm like, oh fuck. Like every time I'm like straight to the point like that, I catch myself and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like I shouldn't have said it like that. I do, don't I, Brisa?
Yeah.
Like I'll come back to Brisa and I'm like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it that way. But I'm like, no, fuck that, because sometimes you do need to hear it. You just need to hear it direct sometimes. But then in the back of my head, I'm like,
Delivery, your delivery doesn't have to be rough. It's just how you are, whoever it is. And the skill alone, if taught properly, given okay, you've got this long to do X skill, they're going to be hard on themselves. They're going to do all of that you shit themselves. You need, as any human should be, teaching others the basics of what we're doing is we're tattooing, changing the color of people's skin. And when we're changing the color of people's skin, we have to realize what we're actually, safety, sanitation, and other cultures, they don't have all that stuff, and tattoos and in different countries. And my teaching, my country, the way I'm teaching it's our culture. You have what's called a shop culture. And in my culture, my shop, I'm mom, they call me mom. Because sometimes you're like, hey mom, I want to do this. And sometimes it's like, mom, help. And that's why we do that. I'm tattoo mom. And for the first 6 months, they're just cleaning and organizing and breaking down, setting up. And all they're doing is being able to, so to speak, breaking down, setting up with their eyes closed. Like they can do that. And they're so hardcore on that. They're excited because you know why? I told them in the beginning, I gave them the syllabus. And then you signed up for it and you signed my 4-year contract. You knew what you got into. And if you leave my contract, if you leave for any reason, you can't come back ever, because there's lots of people in the world and a lot of time. And my shop culture and my clients that I have, we make sure that you are protected, and we cultivate that. And I mean it. It just, we're family. We're
no,
hardcore
I
family,
love
and
that.
and that's how it is in tattoo. In my experience, um, I'll never not have a place to stay or a shop to not tattoo out of. We really respect one another, and we are unapologetic, and we
I
don't
feel like that's a whole
apologize in a lot of
another
ways.
conversation. I feel like you could have a whole conversation on just that. Like, okay,
Yeah,
because I feel like in permanent makeup, it's like sometimes, I mean, you may feel like you're walking, like say you're with the permanent makeup studio and you decide to leave, you may feel like you're walking on eggshells. Like, I feel like in the permanent makeup world per se, like there's a lot of that cattiness out there, and it's like it's not as welcoming. Like you're like, oh, I'd welcome, complete your contract, I'll welcome you back, come, probably guest spot at my place if you do this. Like it's like a family, right? Like, but in the permanent makeup, it's almost
right.
like, oh, you went ahead and you're doing and you're moving on and you're doing this, like fuck you. Like, and it's like it shouldn't be that way.
Well, in my personal shop, what I have as a rule is you can't come back, because my experiences in other people's shops and even my own, I've uh, I've seen people
Real quick,
go and come
would you
back.
let that person come back if they completed their 4 years? Like if they went off and tried to. So here's a question: if they completed their 4 years and they went off and tried to like do their own thing, and they're like, you know what, I tried it, it's not for me. You know, I really love the setup that you had. Can I come back and be an artist at your studio? Can they come back? Yes or no?
Um, this is why. So when you go to an apprenticeship, you want to, learn, respect, you know, beg, borrow, steal, and get every single thing that you can from your mentor. And then once you've done that, you stay there and you show them respect that thank you for showing me all this stuff. And unless they're just extremely abusive and harassing you and you have a really ugly mentor, duh, go. Why the fuck would you want to come back? If you have somebody who's taught you and has dove into you, then you stay there, and you show that respect. And if you were doing it right, you'd be like, hey, you want to make this grow even more and bring something to the table and have some fiduciary responsibilities and make it bigger and grander because we're stronger as a team. And if you leave my shop, everyone who's left my shop when I feel like I've really like, oh, I'm getting the hang, know what I want now, they leave, but they leave because they're going a different direction in life, or they lied to their husband or significant other that they aren't going to get paid right off the bat and they're not going to get all this money. So setting up your apprentice with what to actually expect. And in tattoo culture, it's a little bit more known that, yeah, you're going to have to take shit and not get paid. But it is slowly, you're getting more into, business deals and stuff like that. But you don't want to just learn and get the fuck out. 4-year contracts means I'm teaching you and you can't go anywhere else. And then you should stay for life because we're a family. And if not, if you do it right, let me assist you. Let me help you. How can I be help to you? Because you don't have to own 51% of the company to own the fucking company.
Right. And to still allow that growth and support that growth, I think is important because I think that doesn't happen. I think that's where it's like a lot of people will have these, 3, 4, 5-year contracts. And it's like at the end of that contract, it's like, okay, now stay, but stay commission as well. Like you're going to stay only making 35%. And it's like that stuff doesn't work because somebody's going to want to continue growth in their selves. I mean, well, they should want to, so I think that's where the ball is dropped a little bit. So that feels nice hearing that from you. I like that.
And I just want to say thank you. And I'm really blessed. I have a master's in business, and I realize y'all need to get some business education for your shop culture, for your culture in general, because if you're smart, you're going to pour into them. That's why my tatter tots, my apprentices, I'm mom. So what am I going to do? Just like teach my kid and say, get the fuck out? Like, that's not what you should do. I want to teach you, and then I want to grow this family and grow it and be the best and have that trust. And a lot of tattooers do not come from good backgrounds. Stereotypically, it's just not. And I just want people to know, like, don't get your shit and learn and leave, because you got to do a lot more bumps and a lot more failures. Grow together, because as a person who wants to get apprentices, you learn your skill, you kick ass at it, and then you find someone that matches your energy, your vibe, someone that you look up to as a person, and you test that you could trust them through those 4 years. And don't stress yourself out being an asshole. And if you're an asshole, go get some therapy and fucking stop being a dick and really just pour into those people. And then they're going to want to pour into you. And the entire way say, this is our clear vision. Are you still on it? Awesome.
Absolutely.
This is our clear vision. Are you good? Stay there, grow, and just keep going. And if that person who you're growing with, if they aren't on your level, they're not on the same grind, they want something different, then you should have known throughout the entire way. You're going to see shadiness as you go.
Absolutely.
And you're going to learn how to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think a lot of like it's just like with mentorships and like apprenticeships and the thing, it's almost like money, money, money. Okay, it's turn. Like it's how many can we get in? How many can we release? How many can we get in? How many release? I'm like, you can do that, but you can only do that for so long and it's not going to grow your business, right? Like it's not going to create this community, create this like culture that you're trying to build up, like you like-minded people, like, you know, like you want to create that rather than like, oh, give me your money, see you later. Give me your money, see you later. Like it's so tiring.
Bro, I got a secret. I gotta tell you something. Yo, anybody who wants to do this, I'm here for it. Amber will do it too. She don't even know it, but she'll do it. So I teach right really I have students that will come, they want to learn restoration, areola tattoos, tattooing over scarred skin, etc. And they are brand new and they're like, I'm this and I'm going to this course first and learn. I'm like, who? And they'll say, oh, you know, Susie Q, sprinkle brows. I'm making this up. And I'm like, okay, what's Susie Q's Instagram? And I'm like, oh, Jesus, take the wheel. And I'm like, you still want to do it? And you seriously want to do it? I'm like, okay. So what I do, people that reach out to me, y'all PMU artists that are teaching that don't know anything, get ready for this because Amber start doing it. I've given a list that has every single thing that your artist should know. What is a needle configuration? What stroke is your machine? Like aseptic technique. What the fuck you need to learn? How do you use this? What's every fucking thing? You should know all the different needles, all the different techniques. There is not one technique, there's every technique, and then make up some as you go. So I have behind the scenes, secrets out. I am telling all of these newbies a shit ton of stuff to vet your trainer because I can't say, you know, Susie Q's sprinkle brows sucks because they don't know that they suck. I'm gonna let you find out that they suck. If you don't believe me and get your $3,000 back, then fine. You want to waste $3,000, waste $3,000. So if you anyone else, Amber, you with me, dude?
Oh yeah, I'm down. I'm
And
down.
it's not talk. It's not being
I
mean.
do that anyways.
No.
I don't know if I have a list. I need to get a list so I
Yeah.
know like
I
I'm
got a
covering
list.
everything.
I'll forward it to you.
I'm
But the
like, I got
list is literally the list is just simple things. Like I asked this girl, I was like, what do you, she's taking a lip blushing course. I'm like, all right, well, what needle does she use? And she told me the needle configure. She told me, she's like, it's a 3-point. I'm like, all right. So
yeah.
what type, you know,
You're like,
and go on. What type of machine is it? This one. I'm like, what is that? And then the girl's like, well, that's just what it is. You don't need to know that. The fuck you don't.
yeah, then okay, that's not the person that you want training you. Like, I'm sorry.
You want to be able to learn from someone who knows way more than you and then has a team that knows way more than you. If I'm doing, you know, teaching eyeliner, I know damn well I can be like, Amber, this is what's going on. I got a team out of Amber because we have nurtured and cultivated this relationship. You, if you had anything, you could go XYZ and ask them. If I'm doing, you know, my body art, I can go to like Liz Cook. And I'm like, yo, help. It's about the culture of communication and it's not a my individual training anymore. So start vetting your trainers by giving them a list of things because you don't know what you don't know.
No, I love that. You know what, you know what we should do is we should put that list on the bottom of this episode so everybody has it.
Nah, dude, it's long. You should sell it. I'll sell it.
Oh, she's
no, it's long. It's
I'll
long.
create some key point lists and put it at the bottom of this episode because at least I mean I know it.
We'll do a key point
like,
list. I'll give the key point list. I'm not trying to gatekeep. I'm trying to because the thing is, people can go. They can fucking put it on Chat GPT and be like, "What is a stroke? What is a voltage?" Fuck that shit. I want you to be able to say, "Well, why? Is it the velocity of this? What's going on?" Like, I want you to be able to fucking like be able to tell me what it really is doing because in that skin, you need to know when I feel this certain vibration and see this certain look, it's because my machine is XYZ. Okay. So I'll use the PMU machine when I'm doing, you know, lips, or I'll use the Bishop Packer wand, or then there's like a critical Cheyenne that I've used. Like there's so many different machines for different things and different types. There is not
or
one
even what technique can go on is like, I feel like with trainers in general, it's like which this is still ongoing, but it's like they know one way to do things, one way only, and it's like, okay, but what if you're doing that one way on somebody and then that one way doesn't work? Then you're absolutely screwed. So it's like people don't know. It goes back to that list you're talking about. It's like people just don't know to ask that. They're like, well, she taught me this, but that's all, and then that's all they end up knowing. And I always, with the girls, it just happened today because I'm like, my Brisa already knew. So I'm like, all right, so why are we not going to do that? And she's like, da 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 da. And I was like, and I started to speak, and she goes, and because of this, this, and this. And I was like, exactly. Like, that's the response
Yes.
from somebody.
Yes.
Like, this way because I told you so. This way because why? Why are we doing it that way? So it's I get you. I get you, girl. I think we're out of time.
I told you we're gonna have lots of episodes because this is
Are you
fun.
doing that on the screen? You're like, ah.
After the recording, she's staying here.
She's what?
After you guys are done, she needs to stay in here so I can have it uploaded.
Oh, okay. He said when we're done chatting that we have to stay here because he has to upload it, so you can't just leave us.
I would never leave you, Amber.
I would never leave you. I need to come see you again soon, though.
You really do. I also tell people, like, okay, so in permanent makeup, if this is something that's not necessarily, it's paramedical tattooing, I cannot get enough of these people exposed that are in my classes. So anybody who needs to be exposed that has taken any of my courses, I tell you all to come back because I see 1 to 4 breast cancer patients a day, or clients in my shop at least. And then, or gender affirming, or I don't like my nipples, or let me do a fashion areola, give me some hearts and stars. And if you don't see that and you aren't exposed to it, how you know if you're going to do it? Arian did what's called gross anatomy in medical school, and it lets you know if you can handle being a doctor. You see some gross stuff. So how do you know you can handle these scars, and you spend all this money, all this time, all this education, and this stuff, and you're like, oh, I don't think I can do it. Well, I'd say a lot of people doing paramedical tattooing that are teaching, you should offer that to your people to come and watch, so you could expose them to it and get that
all the different scenarios. 100%.
Yes.
No, I agree with that. Do you offer something like that? Like, is there something like specifically like that you're like, hey, like, or is there a price on it? Do you feel comfortable sharing that information? Like, so people know that they can reach out to you?
No one ever abuses it. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No, that's good. Like, yeah, tell the people that support system that you have after they come do a training with you. Like, for instance, I came and did an areola training. Have I done it? No, I'm too scared. I'll be honest. So it's like so somebody like me that's like, okay, I leave and I go to training and now, oh, I'm scared. Okay, what is it that somebody should do moving forward? Reach back out to you, and what's that look like?
You want to know what it's like to just see a breast cancer survivor, or someone that has had a top surgery, or just breast in general. I say, come to me, give me a call, email me. Now, if I get 1,000 emails a day, obviously I'm going to try to, wow, that's great. That means there's a need for it, right? So let's make a need for it. If anybody, like I said, I tattoo about 1 to 4 a day. I do body art, permanent makeup, and belly buttons, fingernails, toenails. I don't do camouflage. So at the end of the day, contact me, because you need to get exposed. You need to know what hypertrophic scarring looks like, skin looks like after necrosis, radiated scars, or don't tattoo this scar, or tattoo that scar. Example, Amber, this is a little bruise. I'll stop. Fucking keep going. That's fine. So please come get exposed. You guys can talk to me, call me, email me. You can let me know, because I don't charge anything, because breast cancer, especially, they didn't want it. It's like, it's just my philanthropic. I have a 501c3 foundation for it. So it's really, I'm not in it for the money. I get enough money with teaching and the training. I just want people to get exposed to it and see if you can handle it. Because if you can't fucking handle it, get your ass out of the damn treatment room, don't tattoo them. And last thing, if you can't do it on paper, don't do it on Zoom if it doesn't look real.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Yes,
Do you sell, this is a side note, but do you still sell the boobies, the squeeze boobies?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And all the money goes to my foundation.
Everybody loves those. I'm like, so everybody, literally every single time, I'm like, you need the boobies? Everybody knows what it means. You need the boobies? They're like, oh, give me the I'm like,
I'll send you some more.
I love that. Yeah, I'm like, I should probably have some of those just to sell to people. People love them, anyways.
I got you.
All right, girl. Thank you so much for chatting with us today and taking time out of your day. I know you're super darn busy. And thank you, everybody, for listening to our episode today. And we hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we will definitely be bringing her back. And we're going to drop your information in the show notes so everybody can give you a follow and maybe reach out to you for extended support.